season. Not quite what they wanted it to be ultimately, but that's a really good player now in the transfer portal. So Travis Dye of Oregon will be likely playing somewhere next year. Definitely one to keep an eye on, but I believe we now have Jason King, do we not?
We do. Jason King, SickOf365.com, joins us now. And Jason, Baylor has got Oklahoma State this weekend, and that's a team that, it started out with a lot of gumption and, we're going to play for pride kind of a thing, but it appears that maybe their season to end with nothing might be starting to wear on them a little bit. And with Baylor coming off a loss, is this a good team to maybe see before you get back into the teeth of the Big 12 Conference?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Oklahoma State traditionally, especially the last 2 or 3 years, has always played Baylor really well, even at home. I mean, we can think back to that great game a few years ago when Mike Boynton got thrown out. I mean, they just always seem to be ready to play Baylor. But I agree with you. They are in a lull right now, along with losing some key pieces from last year. I just kind of wonder where their heads are right now with nothing to really play for other than pride. And it takes a toll after a while. I think that's what we're seeing. I was a little surprised that things were as lopsided for them last night as it was. But the other thing is I just think they're catching Baylor at the wrong time. I mean, if Baylor doesn't come out and play like their heads are on fire, or their hair's on fire, whatever the term is, I mean, they should come out with so much energy and spunk. And after the way they played the other night, I think we're going to see Baylor. I don't want to say it's their best, but definitely much, much better than we've seen the last couple of weeks. I think the last few weeks, you hate to say you could kind of see it coming the other night with Texas Tech. I don't know if that's the team I would have picked to beat them, but I definitely sensed that something was off with Baylor for the last couple of weeks. And so maybe what happened Tuesday night will be a good thing, and it'll help them moving forward.
As you alluded to, Jason, I think everybody kind of felt like something's going to give eventually. I mean, they're not just going to keep winning and winning and winning, and things were kind of, they'd overcome maybe certain issues here and there. But what were kind of your prevailing thoughts coming out of the Texas Tech game, other than, Baylor had showed that they were beatable and that it wasn't a complete shock necessarily. But what did you see? Obviously, Texas Tech is a very good team and not a loss that you hang your head about too much. But what were maybe some of the concerns coming out for Baylor?
To me, I hate to just be this simple with it, but I just don't feel like it. And I noticed this when they played Oklahoma as well. I just don't feel like they came out with the same presence, the same defensive intensity, the same swagger. I hate to use the word complacent, or the term fat and happy, but I kind of feel like that's how Baylor's looked for a couple of weeks now. I mean, when teams are driving to the basket as easily as they were when they played Oklahoma, when teams are shooting 60% against you, to me that just speaks to not coming out same energy and passion as you had for maybe, a Villanova or maybe some of those games in the Bahamas or maybe even Oregon. And I feel like that was part of it. I think not having Jeremy Sohan is a big deal. He's really good. I mean, I think he would have helped so much with that length and rebounding and altering shots. And the thing is, even though Baylor did not play well at all, they still were right there in a position to win the game. I mean, as much reason as there is to kind of be discouraged, at the same time I'm kind of encouraged because I was like, they still almost won that game. I mean, Flagler missed some key free throws down the stretch. LJ Cryer, I thought missed some really good looks from three, and Tech made some really tough shots. So I think they scored on their last 4 or 5 possessions. So I don't know. If you're a Baylor fan, I would not hit the panic button. Like you said, these things happen. I think they're 69-7 over their last 76 games. So it was going to happen, and teams go through adversity. That's how they get better. And so hopefully they'll spin this into a positive.
Yeah, they played the worst game they've played in 2 full years, and they lost by a basket. Mm-hmm. So
right.
Yeah, they still, at the end of the game they have a chance to tie it and send it to OT. Do you think that maybe Matthew Myers played really well defensively this year, especially growing, but offensively they haven't gotten much from him. Do you think that maybe he might be too in his head about that a little bit, and they might need to let him fly a little bit more offensively?
I think you're absolutely right. I think it's probably more of a mental thing now than anything. Sometimes I feel like that guy just needs to hit a shot early, and then he'll get going. But I think the last couple of games he has hit a shot early, and then it's like nothing. But I don't know. I definitely don't think the way to solve that problem would be to bench him or to limit his minutes more. if anything, maybe especially in a game like tomorrow, maybe if you're up, you just give him the greenest light he's ever had. Just do something to get his confidence going again. He doesn't look like, when you just watch him and the way he carries himself, he doesn't look like he's lost confidence. I think he's hard. And that's encouraging. I don't feel like it's an effort thing. And I think everyone's just kind of waiting for that game when it all turns around. And the good thing is he can do it. I mean, you've seen him do it. He's done it. And it's just, I'm surprised it had to happen a little sooner, but I think it will. And at least, like you said, he's given him some good things in other areas of the game. He's impacted the game without scoring. So I don't know, but it's weird to me because I feel like even dating back to that 26-14, that the team whose season ended because of COVID, that whole year and then all last year, and then for most of this year, I never ever felt like this team didn't give max effort, or more so that this team didn't come out ready to play and just like in the right mindset. And that the other night, and maybe against Oklahoma, those were the first two times I thought they're complacent, and that's fine. Again, that's fine. I mean, the abnormal thing is what's happened is the fact that it hasn't happened yet. So, I mean, it happens to everyone, and I think they're going to be just fine. But this is a tough league, man, and I think they're the best team, but they can't have many more of those.
Jason, what do you think of Texas Tech? I mean, I know a lot of people have been high on them already, but maybe even higher now, seeing what they've done over the last week with two massive wins before the win over Oklahoma State last night. But the back-to-back top 25 wins that they got, and just a lot of. You mentioned the word swagger. It seems like they have a lot of that with Mark Adams right now.
I mean, to me, they're one of the biggest surprises in college basketball. I'm shocked. I mean, just to think. If you had ever told me that they were going to come in Waco without Shannon and beat Baylor, I would have said no chance. I really felt like Baylor was going to win that game by double digits. So it shows you what I know. But yeah, I think everyone knew the guy's a great coach. The word on Mark Adams was he was always kind of the secret behind Chris Beard's success, or at least a big part of it. And the question I think I had, and most people had when they decided to make him the permanent guy, is how's he going to recruit? Is he going to be able to get players there? He's kind of a mild-mannered guy, is he going to be able to get guys? And we'll see how that goes. But he's got some good transfers in there, and they're winning a lot of games because of how good of a coach he is and how ready his guys are to play. So I like seeing it. I like a lot of parity in the league, and I'm happy for him.
Do you think that? I mean, obviously they've kind of shaken it up this week, but maybe Texas is out of this, not out of the race necessarily, but out of the eye, and it's maybe Baylor, Kansas, Texas Tech at the top now?
Well, I think that's the kind of the knee-jerk reaction to say that. I'm not quite ready to go there yet because I just think they're too talented, and I do think, even though it's kind of fun to laugh at Beard right now, he's a good coach. I mean, he's a really good coach, and I do think that the potential there and the ceiling is there for them to get so much better. They're going to have to turn it around pretty quick now, but they're still really, really good. I think they're one of the top 4 teams in the league, along with the other 3 you mentioned. But man, Tech had a big week. The team that I'm just not that impressed with is Kansas. I mean, they were a basket away from losing again at home the other night to Iowa State, a team I don't think is very good. They obviously got handled really well by Texas Tech without McCullough and Shannon. So I think they might have just as many question marks as anyone. Their record is really gaudy, but they're not going out and just dominating teams like you would expect them to do. But they're another team. I mean, as you know, I covered Kansas for years, and Bill Self is. I feel like his teams always peak, just at the right time, and kind of that mid to late February, where all of a sudden they just look like a machine. So I think all these teams, Baylor included, are going to get a lot better here over these next 4 or 5 weeks. Jason,
any word on Jeremy Sohan and when he might be back?
No, I haven't talked to anyone down there, but hopefully I'm going to see you guys here in about an hour. Maybe before we watch this movie, we can turn on our reporter skills and go around and get some inside info. But they need him back, man. He was really starting to shine, and to me, play with a lot more confidence, especially on the offensive end. So he's going to make a big difference. So those ankle injuries are tough. I mean, I think everyone kind of responds to him differently, and hopefully he'll be back soon.
All right, Jason, thanks a lot. We'll see you in an hour.
We're gonna say, hey, now, what kind of grub are they having at this thing? I mean, is the popcorn machine gonna be open? Have we got any hors d'oeuvres or anything? Or,
I don't know.
Or do I need to stop at 7-Eleven and buy some M&Ms?
We've got the director in here right now, Chris Charles. Is in here. Chris, are there grub? Is there grub? Jason King wants to know, is there grub?
Yeah.
At the after party, there'll be grub. So you may want to.
Okay. I'm going to stop off at 7-Eleven. I'm going to stuff my pockets with some snacks, and then I'll grub at the after party.
Yeah.
Let me know if you need me to pick you something up.
Yeah. Right. Craig wants some Slim Jims. No.
No, I do not.
I'm not like that.
All right. We'll see you in an hour, Jason.
All right, y'all.
All right. That's Jason King, SicOf365.com. Coming up next, Grayson Grunhafer. And then we talk Ode to Joy. Director in the studio. And then this is a big moment when you actually get to, do you feel like it's a birth tonight? Is this the birth?
It is. This feels like we conceived this child last April, and look, we're here now.
We're delivering the baby right now.
Yes, the healthy, fat, beautiful baby.
Very, very fat, beautiful baby. Triplets. That's right. Triplets tonight. We'll do that in a second. But first, Grayson Grunhafer, SicOf365.com. This is Sick of 365 Radio, 365 Sports. BetUS.com. NFL